Live now. Happy, beautiful day. It's Pete Cohen here. Welcome. We're on Psychologies Magazine. Let everyone wave. We're on Instagram here right now. Instagram stories. Happy, beautiful day. Let's actually tag Psychologies Magazine in this post. I get confused sometimes. We've got a screen here. Thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate it. It's one of my favorite times of the week working with this audience because it's global. It's global. And I don't know about you. I love people. I love humanity. Let us know where you are in the world. People piling in right now. We're talking about motivation today. We're talking about you. We're talking about your life. Your life matters. You make a difference. Let me know where you are in the world. I want to see how many countries we get represented here. Already 50 people turned up just like that. Super fantastic. Psychologies Magazine, big shout out to the magazine. I'm a massive fan. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today. So look, Psychologies Magazine, Melbourne, Australia is in the house. Happy, beautiful day to Australia. Let us know what other countries. We've got South Sudan in the country, in the house. We're talking about how to motivate yourself for success. But look, we'll officially start here. It's just gone 2 o'clock. I want to see how many. We've got Cape Town, South Africa. We've got Pakistan in the house. We've got Bangkok, Thailand in the house. Happy, 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 beautiful day. I raise my cup to you. Officially, we will start in 2 minutes. We've got India in the house, Mumbai. Amazing, incredible, happy, beautiful day. Let's all wave. Thank you to Psychologies Magazine. If you want to do your bit for Psychologies Magazine, then share this post. Like, comment, share it, get it out there to the world. We've got the UK in the house. Zoe, good to see you. We've got the Munich, Germany. I don't think we've ever had so many countries here. Look, we've got Romania, we've got Tunisia. Look at all these countries. We've got another person from Pakistan, Romania, I just said. Anywhere else? USA. USA is in the house. Big couple of days coming up there. Guys, the whole world has gone a little crazy. Give me one word to describe the world right now. One word to describe how you are feeling about the world that we're in, because I don't know whether it's confusion, uncertainty, but you know what? I know the solution. I know the solution. It's us. It's us going, who do I need to become? Who do I need to be? We've got Sheffield in the house. We've got Morocco in that. Isn't this amazing? Guys, who thinks this is amazing? Come on. The fact that we've got all of these people all over the world that have just come together right now for this short period of time that we spend together. So people say chaotic, uncertainty. Oh, thank you very much for that lovely comment there. Really, really, really appreciate that. You know, what's so fascinating about human beings is what human beings actually have the capacity to do, right? It's absolutely amazing what people can do. So if humanity was being given a prescription by a doctor, right? What do you think that prescription might say? What do you think the prescription, the diagnosis might be, or the condition of humanity? Because humanity is pretty messed up right now. You don't have to look very far to see all of the problems that are going on in the world, from people that are fighting, people who are killing each other, people who are killing themselves, you know, taking their own lives, to obviously this virus that's going around the world right now that many people will say that was humanity, that was man, that was man's, however you want to call it. But we're still faced right now with a choice. How many of you right now believe I have a choice, right? If you believe you have a choice, just write down, I have a choice. Let's get as much interaction as we possibly can. If you're sitting down and you can stand up, please stand up, because if you stand up, you're going to be in a better position physiologically to receive some information from a psychological point of view. So Psychology Magazine is all about your psyche, your being. And the word psychology is truly a fascinating word because it means the study of your being. How are you being right now, right? Thank you very much. Look at all these people saying, I have a choice, I have a choice, I have a choice. You do have a choice. You really do have a choice. Right now, you could turn this off. You could go and do something else, but you have the choice to stay here. And what I'd like to do over the next 10 minutes or so is to give you some information that could inspire you to move your life in a different direction, a direction where you get to be better. You get to achieve more, you get to have more, you get to do more, you get to be happier, you get to be healthier. So what I want to know right now, and I really appreciate everyone commenting, what I want to know right now is, in your life right now, what is wildly important to you right now in your life? What is wildly important to you? What really matters? And while those answers are coming in, you all know that Psychologies Magazine is totally committed to providing people with inspiration and tools and techniques and strategies to help people with their psyche. Because ultimately, the most fascinating thing about human beings is everything we do pretty much is governed by how we think, which governs how we feel, which governs our actions, which really dictates everything. And once we learn to be more curious about what is going on in between our ears, once we become more curious about it and be open to possibility, then I think the sky's the limit. So thank you so much for all these comments coming in. So I'm asking the question, what's really important? Look at all the words coming up on the screen now. Love and marriage, relaxation and freedom, inner peace, connection with people. Talking of connection with people, please feel free to connect with me, because my goal is to connect with people. My goal is to ask as many people as I possibly can this question: how can I help you? What do you need? Martin Luther King said the most important question we should be asking people is, what can I do for you? How can I help you? What do you need? Gandhi said we should be the change that we want to see in the world. And human beings are pretty fascinating. That the same problems that most of us experience right now are problems that people have experienced for a very long time. So when I ask you what's wildly important to you, how motivated are you? Because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about motivation. So what does the word motivation actually mean? Well, it probably won't surprise you. It comes from a Latin word, like many words, and it means your motive. What is your motive for doing what you do? What is your motive for getting out of bed every single day? What is your motive to going to work, if you're able to go to work? We're just about to start a brand new lockdown here on Thursday for at least a month. I want you to be really curious about what are your motives. Why do we do what we do? Now, there's a guy called Tony Robbins. You might have heard of Tony Robbins, and he's pretty famous all around the world, around the whole field of personal development. And many years ago, he talked about what motivates people, in most cases, is pleasure and pain, right? So we are motivated towards, like I was motivated to drink this coffee because of the pleasure associated of making it, of drinking it, and how it makes me feel. This is what drives human beings. But you know what's really, really, really crazy is what drives most people to do what they do. Do you know what that is? Let me ask you, when do you think we get to see the best in human beings? What has to happen in order for people to behave in ways that they wouldn't normally behave? In the best way. Personally, I think it's a disaster. That when a disaster strikes, all of a sudden we see people just behave in ways they don't normally behave, right? Have you ever been interested in that and thought, that's, I used to live in a block of flats in London on some water, and there was a block of flats called the Grenville Tower. You might have remembered this. There were pictures of it all over the world. And I knew people that lived there, and they didn't talk to each other. But when this happened, we saw a side of people that we don't normally see. Now, of course, what happens after a disaster? Most people go back to what is familiar to them. And what is familiar to most people, again, I don't live in some of these countries that you guys come from, so you have to excuse me. I've been to many countries, but I've never been to the Sudan. I've been to Morocco. I haven't been to South America, so I don't know everyone. But what I do know is that we do have a world where many people don't do very much because they don't feel like it. You know, we live in a world now where it's so easy for us to be comfortable, right? So we can stay where we are. But let me ask you another question. In your life right now, what is it that you need to do? In your life right now, what do you have the motivation to do? I think right now, in society in general, we're facing a different paths. And I ask you to think about, what path do you want to take? How many times in your life have you not felt like doing something, and because you didn't feel like doing it, you didn't do it? How many times? What got you out of bed this morning? What got you out of bed? Maybe it was your children. Maybe it was your dog. Maybe it was a voice in your head that said, don't get out of bed, stay here. It's warm in here. And then you heard another voice in your head that said, no, let's go, let's get up. And this is the debate that we all have each and every single day, all of us, pretty much, right? Unless maybe you're quite an old person, or maybe you're very, very, very young, like a baby. You wouldn't have this thing where you are debating what you do. And this is the thing, that when we have a choice, most of us will choose the choice that requires the least effort. Does that make sense? Very few people, after having done this work for many years, I can tell you, I have only met very few people that are motivated by something that is in front of them that they have to create. You know, where I come from, a lot of people are motivated by the fact that at 6 o'clock in the evening, they can start drinking alcohol, or at certain times of the day, they're motivated to have a cigarette, or they're motivated to look on their phone and look at what's going on. They're motivated by something that's in front of them, but it's never really enough for most people. When we really start to think about who we are, what we want to do, why we're here on this precious earth, I think that we basically know that we can do more, we can be more, we can make a difference, but we have to learn. And this is what I'd love to share with you over the next few weeks, if those of you want to learn, is learn how to think greater than you feel. Look, the reality is, for most people, when they hear information, they'll hear it like this and think, oh, that's interesting, but they won't do anything because there's not a big enough reason to do what you want to do. And I really want you to look at the mirror and ask yourself, what is it in your life still that you really want to do? Okay, so how many of you would like to be fitter, healthier, have more energy, have less weight on your body? But let's be honest, when you think about taking action in that area, it's very unlikely that you're going to feel inspired. And this is the big thing I'd love you to take away from today and think about this. When in your life have you wanted something so much, or you had to do something that was so important, that how you felt really didn't matter? Your feelings did not come into it because you didn't have a choice. You know, 10 years ago, my wife was given 18 months to live. She was diagnosed with a very aggressive brain tumor. And the doctors here basically said there was nothing that they can do. Now, I didn't settle for that. I looked outside of the box, and I found a treatment in America. It cost $250,000. And there were so many obstacles that we had to go through, hoops we had to jump through in order for her to have that treatment. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, for me, there was no option. Standing still was not an option. Doing nothing was not an option. And I think in many cases, even though we don't want to admit it, in our life, we're not doing very much. We're doing what everyone else is doing. We're not growing. We're not evolving. We're not making the world a better place. We're just existing. Now, I know that might be different for some of you in different parts of the world who are genuinely in situations that are a lot more challenging than what we have going on here right now. But the whole fabric of our world has been ripped apart. And we're going to have to find different reasons for doing what we do, because otherwise our world is in big, big trouble. So, in summary, you know what? Today or this evening or this morning, wherever you are in the world, there's going to be a number of times where you are triggered to do something and you don't feel like doing it. The question is, will you do it? I dare you to do it. I dare you to step in the space between the stimulus and the response, because there is where our freedom is. You know, from having the thought to the response, that is where our strength is. That you have the opportunity to think something and feel a certain and act in a certain way. The chances are you'll act in a way that you've always acted. So if you normally talk yourself out of something, if you normally get annoyed or angry, we tend to do what we tend to do. We tend to do what we know. But in that space is where your strength is. And I dare you to start doing things that you don't feel like doing. So it's more than motivation. It's like how you feel doesn't really matter. It's the result that you want. So with the things in your life that matter most to you, I would really, really start to think to yourself, what is it that I need to do? Because the easiest thing to do is do nothing. The easiest thing to do is to do what you've done before. And if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. You know, I've written a whole book about this, and you can actually download that book for free if you want to. If you go to book.petecohen.com, I'll actually put it in here for you guys. If you want to, if you like reading, you can download it. It should. There you go. I've put it in the thing. Any questions about anything that I've said? I really encourage you just to notice. You know, we know that one of the key fundamentals to changing our life is to notice, to be observant, right? To observe what we're thinking, we're feeling, and to realize we are more than what we think. We can change what we think. We can do more, we can achieve more, we can have more. I'm not saying it's easy. I was talking to a couple of ladies this morning who I was coaching, and we were talking about ultimately, if you want to take responsibility for your life and for your actions and for your growth, it's going to be the most amazing achievement when you achieve what you want or you make progress towards it because you did it. You owned it. Thank you very much for your any questions that anyone want to ask. I really appreciate you guys showing up here and thinking about this, you know, because I tell you, I heard, I don't know if you're into philosophy. I love philosophy. I love ancient wisdom. I love modern science. And when you look at ancient wisdom, when people ever sat down with the Greek philosophers or the Stoics or the Hindu teachers, the Buddhist teachers, you know, a lot of the time, enlightenment that you might have felt from being around these people was only matched by an awareness of what you actually needed to do and the work that was actually involved. The work that was actually involved in creating something, doing the work. And I think what's so important now, if you are going to do the work, make sure you're doing the right work that's going to take you to where you want to go. And that's what Psychologies Magazine is all about, giving people just like you the tips, the tools, the wisdom, the great speakers that are on this Facebook page, or the articles in the magazine. I really, really want to thank you for being here. Feel free to go and get a copy of my book. You can download it for free. Now, of course, that book is not going to make any difference, right? Because they're just words in a page. I've written 19 books, many books published in multiple languages all over the world. I'm not telling you that to impress you, just to impress upon you that I'm serious about people like you. And I am deeply honored that you have joined me from all over the world. You know, you've given me your time, so I have to give you my time, the best of my time. This book is all about being inspired. See, motivation is one thing. What is motivation? Quick recap. What is motivation? It comes from the word motive, which is your reason for doing what you do. If you don't have a big enough reason, you won't do what you do for very long. So what's your number one takeaway? Before we go, every one of you, the 50 odd people that are watching this right now, tell me what is your biggest takeaway from what I've said. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good luck. And and why we in America love our healthcare system and why so many wealthy come here to get procedures they would have to wait for. Well, we have a similar system here. I don't know how long that's going to go on for, but I think the whole world is going to say change. Thank you, Marilyn. Feel free to reach out to me. I have lots of solutions. Come and follow me on Facebook or Instagram, or just reach out and touch faith. With this book, by the way, you get a whole load of, you get access to an area where there's a whole load of videos. There's a video that goes for every chapter of the book for those people that like to watch as well. And once again, I want to thank Psychologies Magazine for doing everything that it's doing and looking to inspire people during these, once again, very challenging times that we find ourselves in. Thank you, Haley. I really appreciate it. You know, with mindfulness and meditation, we often don't feel like doing it, but we do love the outcome. But it takes time. You feel the resistance of not wanting to do it. But the more you do it, find the light inside. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. I'm not sure I can pronounce all your name. Busi. I'm not sure where you are in the world. What about people with ADHD and performance anxiety together and still scared to start? So thank you so much. So look, everyone is different, right? In fact, what I would encourage you to do is go and have a look at this. This is something that we just put together. I think you'll enjoy this. This is a free training that we put together. Go and have a look at that. It's a new training that we put together called 4 Steps to Getting Ahead, Building Confidence. Yeah, take a look at that. Having trouble connecting, please check your internet connection. You guys might have lost me. I'm not sure. Are we still here? Let's see. Are we still here? So I think it was Busi. If you go and look at coaching.my365, you know, if we're talking about you, ADHD, a lot of people who have ADHD, they don't have it when they're really enjoying something and something has really got their attention. I think often we get that because, I mean, that's what I was diagnosed with, attention deficit disorder and dyslexia. But I was just bored. If I found something that really inspired me that I wanted to do, I'd do it all day, every day. So I have a look at that training. I also have a very popular podcast for those of you that like listening to podcasts. It's called My 365 Podcast. It's on Spotify, iTunes, over 300 episodes. Thank you so much for being here. I will be here next Tuesday at the same time. And feel free to reach out to me if I can help. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I really, really appreciate you so much. It's such a privilege to serve you all over the world and to speak to you. But this conversation could be 2 ways, you know. Come in, and as you just mentioned, the book. You go to book. Here, look, I can even share my screen here. Look. You go to book.petecohen.com. Where is it? It is there. If you go to book.petecohen.com, you can download the book for free. Thanks for attempting to help out, but I didn't get it fully. Some address. I'm not native speaking. What's your Facebook page? Just search for my name there, Pete Cohen. And for those of you that like reading and you want to get a free copy of this book, you can. I want to once again thank Psychologies Magazine. Please watch everything they put out because there's so many great speakers, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Much love to you and your families.